Let's talk about defense first because I think they played well. There's some miscues in here, obviously. So you're looking at a shell safety right here, but they don't run shell. They go back into single high. We're cutting across the crosser. This is the first play of the game, and they just run a naked boot to the tight end out the backside. And either your linebacker, because John Alexander's out there playing, he's playing thirds. Either your linebacker or Rashawn Gary, somebody's got to pick up the tight end. You can't get a free first down. That's not how you start a game. A lot of good things in here, but you still got to figure out what's going on. Like right here, they motion over. This is man coverage on the bottom. What are they playing up top? Because now you got Rudy Ford in the box, the tight end position. Davante Adams comes across. Nobody goes with him. You're manned up on the ball. I mean, are we saying that Quay is going to pick up Davante Adams? Is that where we're going? I don't know if we pass that off. I don't know if we need to rotate coverage with the safety, but these things don't make sense. And obviously they're game planning for this stuff, right? Quay gets over there, makes the tackle, not before Davante gets to the first down. But those kind of things you have to self-scout, look at yourself and go, is that a communication issue? Do we get out-schemed right there? Sometimes you're going to get out-schemed. As much as everybody wants to complain about the run game, Joe Barry, I can sit here on paper and draw anything that's going to beat whatever you put up. Like if you give me enough time and enough pieces of paper, I'll beat you with something. All right. It comes down to the timing of calling plays, taking away as many things as possible, and then having your players execute. I love this part of the game, attacking the fullback. You see Quay, we got a fullback in the backfield. He's just shooting the gap. We're not wasting time anymore. Bring the fight to them. Now, it's not always going to work. There are ways to defeat this, just like I've been preaching this for weeks. Let's get him to play on the other side of the line of scrimmage. So I love this, but I do understand there's limitations. You can't do it every play. See it again here. Got the fullback in the backfield. They want to shoot and bring him up. And what it does is it just creates single blocks across the line. Safety comes in and makes a play. Don't know why this is skipping around. Showed a couple of these. Now 45's in the game. Quay's out, shoots the gap, boom, right? We're jump cutting in the backfield. Unfortunately, on this play, Josh Jacobs just gets enough of a downhill lane to run through a couple arm tackles. So it doesn't always work, right? But I like the aggressiveness. I like what you're trying to do. You still have to win your one-on-one matchups. The guys that are single blocked one-on-one, you got to win. Sam Medina for life. Kenny Clark, baby. Guy's showing up. Last couple games. There's another sack. I think he's got 3 for the season now. Listen, 66 was the worst guy on their offensive line. You put your best guy on their worst guy, you take advantage. I'm surprised it didn't happen more. I mean, he did some good things in the run game as well. Now, when you play aggressive, you got a chance to get beat in the play action pass. And we just look at our second level defenders here. And we're up. Everyone's up. Quay's really the only one that figures it out. McDuffie and Rudy Ford are out of position. Michael Mayer, the first-year tight end out of Notre Dame. Huge amount of space between the 30 and 40-yard line. Great throw, great catch. These are the things that if you're going to play aggressive and try to stop the run, this is what a good team does. They go under center, play action, stuff we talk about all the time. This is kind of a natural thing. They run the reverse here. Now we've got single safety. Corners are off 10 yards. We run the around. No one's chasing. And Lucas Van Ness is seeing the hipped off tight end on the high side. So what's he thinking? Oh, he's thinking split flow. Perfect. I'll blow this up. Right? It's like, where'd he go? Where'd who go? Okay. Quay gets caught inside as well. Gets pinned. And they have a good run. These are the things when you're drawing stuff up for the week for game plan. You look at some of the things that they're going to key off of. You go, what do we counter that to make these plays work? I thought, generally speaking, both teams did a pretty fair job of understanding what some of the keys and limitations are for the defense that they're playing against and trying to find solutions for that problem. Okay, this guy's playing the wrong sport. Devontae Wyatt gets one here, and we got all of a sudden he's boxing out. I mean, what are we doing? Usually, when you get beat this bad, you try to spin all the way around. He just keeps boxing the dude out like he just until it's over. Preston finishes up with a sack. Let's give Preston a little love here too, because great job coming downhill inside on Colton Miller, who they were singing his praises. I'm not sure about that. Arm over back to the outside, gets him to open up. Easy play, sack. Preston's really been playing well. I mean, I know he had a sack last week, had a sack this week, but you just watch the quality of play. And again, like, we can't I'm not going to compare him to Myles Garrett or Max Crosby, okay? But the quality of play that Preston's putting on tape right now, run game, he's just a really, really solid player, man. And we talked about him needing to step up in the pass game as far as more pressures, more sacks. Definitely did that this evening, or last evening, excuse me. We're going to shoot that gap again with Quay. Okay, so what happens here? They do a great job. I'll back it up so everybody can see this because this is an adjustment. The right guard sees his double to 58, sees Kenny Clark coming across into the plus side A gap and slams the door shut. Isaiah McDuffie takes the backside route. Great adjustment by that guard. Absolutely great adjustment by the guard on the fly. I'm sure they practiced that all week. Okay, this is a huge no call in the game. And these are little things I know I always add up. So this is like a 3rd and 1, 4th and 1. Savage comes flying in off the right of your screen. Clearly gets pushed in the back here. It's a huge call. They get the first down. I mean, it's just like that's a huge no call. You can't. Those are key calls in the game. These are the kind of plays where, as from a secondary standpoint, you're trying to figure out, okay, what exactly is it we're trying to do? So you get a too high shell. I think that's Jair down on the bottom. Okay, so you got hook curl with your linebacker there with the arrow. You're only reading one guy. The slot went out. The outside receiver's probably coming in. You only got one read here. You got to drive on this. I mean, that's just an easy play. That's an easy drive. Ends up getting yards for a first down. Those are big plays in games that don't need to happen. I mean, for that particular coverage with that particular look with the 2x2, that is not a difficult read for that hook curl player. We shoot. Stack it up. Again, I just love the aggressiveness, all right? You know this team's not throwing well. Garoppolo's not – I mean, they're 30th in the rushing, but this is a get-right game for both teams based on historical precedents here. Jimmy Garoppolo gets, what did I say, just over a shade over 200 yards passing. I mean, this is a great job being aggressive. This is the stuff down near the goal line. Okay, but now so this is where we come into like a little bit of a philosophy issue. They pointed this out, I think, during the game. You got your heels or your toes on the end line. It's 1st and goal on the 9. So you're 9 yards off. And the philosophy is that you're going to be able to drive on the slant and make the tackle in the green. I don't necessarily subscribe to this. This doesn't make sense just to me personally, because my thought is, okay, well, if I lean forward, I'll probably get a touchdown. You're giving me enough right now and enough room to maneuver that I'm probably going to get to 2nd and 4 or 2nd and goal on the 4. At like worst case scenario, even if they threw the bubble to me right now, I'm getting 4 or 5 yards. So this is a philosophy issue I don't quite understand. It's not like he doesn't drive. I mean, this play should get blown up, But this is the problem with running it in this manner is like if you don't make the play, he's just going to drag you into the end zone. And again, offensive player knows where they're going. That's the advantage. So even if you think you have a clean shot on it, you still have to react to movement. So we get a turnover on offense. This is a big time stop in the game. I mean, this is defensively from a team function. This is exactly what you're asking for. Can we make plays? You key that linebacker again. Let's bring it. Everybody's in on the play. Preston's there first. I love it. Okay. This is where you start missing Quay. Obviously, Devondre, especially from 2 years ago, you start missing having your starting linebackers. Isaiah McDuffie, who I love, has to see this crosser right behind him. He's 2 yards behind you. You're reading eyes. Like, you got to have a little bit of awareness now. These are big plays in the football game. Good pick by Rudy Ford. What you'll see here is, I'll go back this up a little bit. So I think Rudy comes from the backside here, drives underneath this route. But really, and we do this a lot from talking about the Packers secondary, they fall off routes in anticipation a lot. Sometimes it's great, sometimes it's not. But I think you can see Rasul Douglas is falling off this route right here and about ready to make this play. You could say that the corner's open because of it, but they don't throw the corner. They throw the crosser. Rudy makes the play. Rasul's there as well. Big time. Now, we got lucky here. This is kind of the same stuff we're talking about. Jaire Alexander's on the bottom here. We're running cover 2 to the bottom side of the field. He's following in. We get a little bit of a scramble, and all of a sudden the tight end's wide open. Nobody's outside because we carried the dig route inside on the 38. He's not making a touchdown, but is he getting to the 50s? Is he crossing? These are you score 13-17. Field position's important. Got lucky there. This is the kind of stuff, and I don't know scheme-wise. I can take a guess. This is probably the biggest run of their game, right? This changes their yards per carry, from under 3 to over 3. This is the old kick play that we watch all the time. Every team's got this play in the book. We got the 2 tight ends over. Rashawn Gary dominates this tight end, but then decides to take the inside gap. This play is designed to kick it out. We call it kick informally because they really want to run this to the left of Rashawn Gary as we're watching the screen. They want to hand this ball off, bounce it, and they basically want to put Josh Jacobs on the cornerback outside, thinking that he's not going to close that space down, which he doesn't. So now you get vertical, and all of a sudden you got a 20-yard gain, 25-yard gain. Big play in the football game right there. So everyone's been talking about this play. Obviously, Preston Smith, he got caught in here one other time as well when he was on the bottom of the screen. This is what happens, guys. They come out in 12, 21 personnel, multiple tight ends, multiple running backs, and you want to play base. So a good coordinator, right? Josh McDaniels was with the New England Patriots for years when they used to run 2 tight ends out there. And they'd split them out outside the receivers, put the receivers in the slot, and force you to play either man against, tight ends versus corners and receivers versus linebackers, or you'd have to play zone, but they'd be able to read it. They put Devontae in at the slot here because they have to walk one of their linebackers out. They don't have any other people in the game. This isn't like a screw up. This is part of playing base defense. What if they do this? We'll have to live with it. They go empty backfield. The only way it works is if you go empty. They go empty backfield. They got a 3x2 on the bottom. Okay. So you have your slot on the two side being played by an outside linebacker who's not good in pass coverage. There's nothing to be done about this except call timeout. That's the only thing you can do. Comes at an inopportune time. Maybe they were saving it. They saw this earlier in the game. They take advantage right now. Get Davante Adams cooking a little bit. Sean Gary, backup tackle comes in. I love this rip move by Rashawn, and you'd like to see some more power. Obviously they're sending tight ends at him. They're doing a bunch of stuff. You want to get him back to where he's doing a lot of this rip with this. He just turns the corner real fast on this, so he's not overrunning the quarterback or turning this into just a power stab right here. Good job on the sack. Again, they had production. Now, this is another game plan thing where they start looking at you and go, okay, when this tight end's off, as he is to the left of our screen, he's hipped off that right tackle. We're expecting what? We're expecting split flow. That's what everybody runs. They're under center. They can run split flow. They could run the split flow play action pass game that we've already seen, but they're going to run something that looks like split flow, right? Wrong. So we send 45 into the A. We got Isaiah McDuffie chasing the ghost, the X receiver coming across, or the Z receiver coming across. They're filling with 34, and they get a really critical first down. Again, you got 16 coming in trying to knock our safety kind of sideways. Alexander's got to make the play, but it's still too little, too late. Now offensively, but let's recap real quick. Defensively, we played pretty well. You can always play better. That's an NFL team. They have NFL players. They have players that have played at an extremely high level. Josh Jacobs, Davante Adams, won at an extremely high level. Their quarterback, Jimmy G. Okay, they've got guys that can play. Our defense played well enough to win. Huge goal line stand. Let's not minimize that. Defensive line came to play. Had some guys had to come and play linebacker, came to play. Still having some issues in the secondary, but I would say that you can make the argument that the secondary is the most difficult thing to become really, really good at.